this week we're going to be working on weapons. So I hope everyone got their nunchucks that we made for you guys. Before you use them, if you want to decorate them, that would be cool. You could wrap them in like duct tape, different colored duct tape, or just draw on the white parts of it. I would recommend probably using like a Sharpie or something so it sticks and doesn't rub off. But I've got two different sized nunchucks. My younger kids should have gotten the smaller ones, and my older kids should have gotten the bigger ones. So if you've got some siblings, just make sure that you guys are using the correct size ones. All right, I'm going to be using the bigger ones. You can also, if you need to, if you're having a hard time with it going over your wrist, if you feel this string is too long, you can go ahead and pull on the string a little bit here. You gotta figure out which side is easier to pull on. And you're gonna pull the string a little bit like that, loosen it up so that you can pull out the knot right there. And you can shorten your string. If you need help, again, ask your mom or dad. They can just tie it a little bit tighter and then slide it back in there, just right into the hole right there, and tighten that up. All right. It should pretty much hang to where if you spread your hand across like this, it goes from one side of your hand to the other. You don't want it too tight. I'll show on my smaller sized ones. If it's too tight like this, it's going to be really hard to do the exercises, okay? So don't have it too tight. All right, the first thing we're going to do with our nunchucks is working on spinning it. Now, again, make sure there's nothing around you. You're in a nice open space. No one's standing too close to you so that we don't accidentally hit our neighbors. We don't want to hit our furniture. One big one to check for is looking up at the ceiling. Do you have a ceiling fan? If so, it's best to move to a different room. Those ceiling fans are really easy to hit, and I don't want you guys getting in trouble for hitting your ceiling fan, okay? So make sure you're in a safe spot. We're gonna start off holding one of the plastic pieces close down to the rope. We don't want to hold it way out here. One of the reasons for that is, as we're spinning it, if I'm holding at the end of one of my nunchucks, this can get really close to my face, right? And I could accidentally hit myself. So we're going to hold close to the string. If I'm holding close to the string, it should not be getting close to my head unless I'm bending my arms. So make sure you're keeping those arms straight, grabbing close to the string. All right. So first we're going to start off by swinging backwards. So moving up closer, I'm swinging that end backwards. So if I'm starting off slow, I'm going backwards. So we got it swinging backwards. To go ahead and stop from this position, we're going to make an L or a backwards L, depending on what arm you're using. And we're going to stop it on the back of our arm right there. Okay. Again, don't hit yourself, whap, really hard with it. Go ahead and try to slow your spin down and let it just gently stop on the back of your arm. Then we're gonna go forwards. And again, see how fast you can go. And then slow it down when we're gonna stop. And stopping from the front, we're gonna spread our legs apart a little bit. You're gonna stop with the string part on your leg so that you don't hurt yourself. And it's just gonna gently stop right there on the leg. Notice again how I use this string part on my leg, not the plastic end part. So let's go ahead and try that a couple times. Back, stopping, and forwards. Stopping, back, stopping, forwards, stopping. Good. Nice. And if you find that your hand's getting tired, your arm's getting tired, go ahead, switch hands. It's always good to be ambidextrous. Eventually, too, we'll be working on 2 nunchucks at the same time. So being able to do it in both hands is always a benefit. All right, go ahead and hold on to your nunchucks. The next thing we're going to work on is called a figure 8. A figure 8 looks like a number 8, 2 circles, right? Turned on its side. It's also the infinity sign, kind of goes like this. So you're making 2 circles just like that. Now we're going to do that with our nunchucks. Again, grabbing close to the string. And we're going to go ahead and cross our body, and you're going to make a circle on one side. Then you're going to cross your body again, coming to our open position, and a circle on this side. So now a little bit more of a full speed. I'm going 1 circle, 2 circles, just like that. Now if you're having a hard time with that, go ahead and just work on open position, where I'm swinging in the open position going forwards. Then I cross my arm and I swing in the closed position for a little while, going forwards. Okay, open position and closed position. Once you've got that down, you can go a little bit faster and do a switch. Open, close. Open, close. Open, close. Open, close. Open, close, open. Also, if you're having a hard time with that, the whole time my nunchuck is spinning towards the front of the room, whether I'm in open position or I go to closed position, it's still swinging towards the front, All right, go ahead, try that a couple more times. If you need to pause the video, go ahead and pause the video right here for some extra practice. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and move on. All right, next thing we're going to work on is working on going over the back of our wrist. So again, starting off close to the string, we're going to have the nunchuck hanging down in the front. This part is going to poke out towards the back. So it's just like this. Now slow motion, what we're going to do is we're going to get this swinging, and we're going to have it swing over the back of our hand. So slow motion, I'm going to use my other hand to show. You're not going to actually use that. It's going to go over the top of your hand, come down. You're going to let go of the one you're grabbing and grab the other one. So one more time, full speed. I'm swinging back, around, and grab. Now notice I'm in a different orientation of grabbing my nunchuck now. This time my nunchuck is pointed straight up and the other part is hanging straight down versus how I started, right? All right, so let's go ahead, let's go back again. Good, grabbing the end. Now to come back, we're gonna spin and bring that nunchuck forward. So you're gonna go slow motion, spin it, bring it over the back of your hand, let go, grabbing right there. And we're back to the beginning. So when we go back and forth, it'll look like this. Back, forth, back, and front, back, and front. Again, make sure that you hold it out to your side far enough. You don't want to hold it too close into yourself, otherwise you can hit yourself on the head. Keeping it out to your side, going back and forward, back and forward. Nice. Again, if you drop it, let's say you go and it doesn't work, you drop it, go ahead, just start over. Take your time. This takes practice. The nunchucks are always a good thing. I say to practice in front of the TV. Maybe you're watching a show, you're kind of bored, and you can just sit there, swing your nunchucks around a little bit. But again, making sure you're in a safe space, cleared of furniture and other people, as well as pets. for today is we're gonna go ahead and work on our different strikes. Before we do the different strikes, if you have worked on some more of the spinning over the hands, you can also try that around the stomach, as well as going over the head. Come down a little further. And if you've got that down, next time you're in class, go ahead and try it out with 2 nunchucks, 1 on either side, both at the same times, okay? All right, but yes, let's go ahead. Moving on to our 3 different strikes with the nunchucks. For the most part, the striking surfaces with the nunchucks are obviously the length of the nunchuck and then the tip, the bottom part. So the easiest strike you can do is just holding the nunchucks together and using it to strike like this. But that one we don't really need to practice so much. So we're going to go ahead and do the first one, which we're going to do our figure 8 again. If you remember, that's with the circles on either side of the body, crisscrossing. Now each time your nunchuck comes up, that's a strike. That's a strike. So if I'm striking on Bob, I'm coming over here, one side, other side. 1, 2, 1, 2. Again, be careful for watching out for the nunchuck bouncing back at you on this one. So go gentle, don't hit too hard, nice and soft. It's best to practice these in the air until you have them down so that we don't worry about it bouncing off and hitting us. So figure 8 strike, just like our regular figure 8. Again, if you have a heavy bag that you're hitting, I really recommend wrapping at least the tips in duct tape so they're not quite as, it's not really a sharp edge, but it could cut something, especially a softer, heavy bag. So I would wrap them in duct tape. Next strike, number 2. We're gonna go ahead and hold the nunchucks together like this. We're gonna hold them in a V shape. The string is gonna point back towards your body and the open end out towards your opponent. So V shape, put it in your hand just like that. Now slow motion, what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw the nunchucks out, holding on to the bottom one and letting the top one release and hit. So again, slow motion, I'd be going like this, letting the top one come out, holding on to the bottom and letting it hit. You're aiming at trying to use this bottom portion. So if I'm using it on Bob, I'm coming up this way to hit, right there, and then try to bring it back into your hands. Let me show from this direction real quick, holding this way, coming to hit, and then bringing back into your hand right there. Okay, practicing it in the air, it should just look like this. Strike, come back. Strike, come back. Strike, come back. Just like that. Go ahead, try that one a couple times, and then we'll move on to the third one. All right, last strike that we're gonna work on, we're gonna go ahead and hold close to the string again, and the dangling part is going to go under our arm. So make sure it's on the same side. I'm not crisscrossing, right? It won't work as well. Same side. So if I'm holding it in my right hand, the dangling part is gonna go under my right arm. From here, I'm going to pull on the string, pulling that out, up and around. All right, full speed. It's coming like that. Now, the hard part is trying to trap it back under your arm again. So after you do your strike, letting it come down and trying to trap it under your arm again. Once you've got that down, you can go a little bit faster. A little bit faster, a little bit faster, 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 faster. Right there. All right, go ahead, give that one a shot. 3 different strikes, figure 8, the one with the V-shaped grip, and the one coming out from under your arm. Again, don't hit anything like your furniture or your parents or your siblings or your pets. I wouldn't even recommend hitting anything like a tree or anything like that. It's probably best to just practice in the air for right now. When we get back in the studio, we can do some practice on bomb. All right. All right, you guys, moving right along, next weapon we're gonna work on is the bow staff. And if you have just a regular stick, you can find out in the woods. Pool noodle would work fine too. Broom would work. And even if your stick is kind of short, like an Escrima stick or something, we can still make it work, okay? So any type of stick, again, making sure you're working in a safe spot. Watch out for any ceiling fans, especially if we're using something longer like a broom, a stick, or our pool noodles, okay? We want to make sure that we're staying safe. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll switch in between all of these so you guys can kind of see what you might use them, how you might use them, and Aspen's going to go ahead and use our traditional bow staff. So the first thing we're going to work on, just some basic warm-ups, freestyle, getting our wrists nice and warmed up, holding right in the middle of your stick, and just twisting it back and forth. Good. Next, you're going to take the top portion. So if I'm holding my pool noodle or whatnot out to the side, the part that's pointed up naturally versus down, the part that's pointed up is going to be what's starting our figure 8. And we're going to go ahead and do our figure 8 just like we did with our nunchucks. Starting off with a big movement of our arm right there. And then once you start getting this down, you can use a smaller movement where you're barely moving your arm and just using your wrist. Right there. Okay? Good. Good. All right, next, moving on, we're going to have our hand out in the open position, just like with the nunchucks, open versus closed. So open position, we're going to let that tip go down as far as we can. Then at this point, I'm going to move closer. You're going to try to let go, let the bow staff spin around and grab it. So one more time, as slow as I can show. Down, around, spin. Whoop. It's a little harder with the pool noodle, so I'm going to go ahead and switch. Down, around, and grab. Down, around, and grab. Good. You'll notice if you continue doing them in order, your hand eventually will scoot down from the middle. It'll go down to one end. So a way to counteract that is when you spin and you grab and it's grabbing down lower, just scoot your hand right back up. Spin, scoot, spin, scoot, spin, scoot. Okay, let's go ahead and do just those warm-ups real quick. Figure 8. Spin on one side. If you know the spin on the other side, you can go ahead and do that one as well. So we've got figure 8, spin on one side, figure 8, spin on the closed side, figure 8. Go ahead, get warmed up, just another minute or so, begin. We're going to go ahead and start working on a bow staff form. We're not going to get through the whole form today. If you're having a hard time, it's okay. Just go slow. Just do the beginning part. At the very end, we'll have Aspen show the entire form so that you can try to follow along if you're able to keep up. But again, like I was saying, we're going through a bunch of weapons today, so just take what you can. Try to remember as much as you can. It's okay if you don't remember all of it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use a short stick today. So you can see I already used a regular stick and a pool noodle, which would actually be easier for the form than some of the freestyle stuff we just did. And then again, also a broom. But let me show you guys what it looks like with a shorter stick as well. All right, I'm gonna have Aspen be up front a little bit further. We'll go through nice and slow the first part, and holding the bow staff in your right hand, you're gonna spin it up towards you, rolling it up, and we're gonna do a good bow, spinning it, unspinning it, back, and grabbing it, right hand on top, left hand on bottom. Step forward with your left foot, we're gonna do a low block. Step forward with your right foot, switch your grip, low block to the right. Bring your tips straight up, stepping your feet together. We're gonna strike with the back end and the front end again. Dip the top end down to your left, big circle coming all the way up and around. Switch your grip, coming around, spinning it to the right. Ready for a big stab on the right side, stepping forward with your left foot. Now, low block to the left. Coming back up, high block. You're gonna like hook. Good front kick with your front or right foot, stepping down to the front, and low block over the front, good right foot. All right, let's go ahead, let's break that down just a little bit. Some of those grips and everything a little bit closer. Let me have Aspen show that first rolling up where you have the tip pointed forward. It's gonna come back around. You're gonna let it spin to right there. Then you're gonna bow, coming back up, and you're gonna let it unspin. Right there, you're just gonna grab, left hand on bottom, right hand on top. When we do our low blocks, that top hand is gonna push the bow staff down under your arm, right there, okay?
And when you go back, make sure to switch your hands and then low block on the other side.
Good. Go ahead, try that a couple of times. We'll just do the low blocks a couple times back and forth with you, nice and slow. Switching those hands each time, making sure the hand with the knuckles on top is the hand that goes under the other arm. One more time. Good. All right, moving on to the next little section where we're doing the strikes back and forth.
Yep. Just gonna raise it up and then straighten your arm and switch. So it's almost like a backwards low block, like that, and then back to the other side. Good, let's do it again. Like that.
Just like that.
All right. The next part's really tricky. So if you don't get it right away, that's okay. You ready? We're gonna dip it down, bring it around here to the other side, and stop right here. I'm gonna do it sideways for you. You start right here, bring it down, and watch how I like hold it in my two fingers right here and right here, then bring it to the other side and stop.
Let's do it one more time, and I'm gonna say right and left sides. So starting with the bow staff on your right hand is in front, left hand is on the bottom. You're gonna dip down to your left side, spin, switching, good, continue on. It's gonna come over, across to your right side, and end. When you end on your right side, your left hand is in the front, but on the bottom of the bow staff, your right hand is in the back and on the top of the bow staff.
Yep. And then you just step and stab.
Good. Let's go ahead. Now that we did that, a little bit more detailed, we're going to go from the beginning to just that part one more time.
Ready? Hold it to your right side. I'm going to spin it up and bow. Then left hand on bottom, right hand on top. Step forward, low block. Other foot, switch your hands, low block. Feet together, pick your hand up. Strike, strike. Then the spinny thing. Good. And right here, step forward, strike. Then good low block, high block, hook, and front kick, and one more good low block. Good.
Nice. Let's walk through it one last time. Again, if you're having a hard time, you can always pause the video, rewind, and do it a couple more times. All right, one more time, nice and slow.
Good bow. Good grab. Low block. Feet together. Switch. Low block. Bring it up. Strike. Strike. And spin. And right here, step, poke. Low block. High block. Hook. Kick. And low block.
Nice. All right. Next one, again, if you need more practice, go ahead, rewind it, do it a couple more times. We're gonna move on and do it the whole form one time through. I know some of you have seen it before or have even done it before. Some of you haven't. If you can, try to keep up with it. If you can't, you can also just watch. All right, you guys, moving right along to sword. Again, you can use the same item you had for your bow staff, whether it's a pool noodle, a broomstick, just a stick, something shorter like an Escrima stick, actually would work perfect. If you happen to have a bokken, we can use that. Lightsabers, anything sword-like. I'm sure you guys have something around. So, we're gonna go ahead, review the basic strikes. I know we did some sword work a while back. I believe it was like a month or two ago. So I'm not sure what everyone remembers. Some of you might not have been here. So we're gonna go ahead and review first, and then we'll work on our triangle form here in class. If you want to, you can tape out a triangle at home, or even just putting down 3 items on the 3 different corners of the triangle works really well just to kind of visualize your space. All right, here we go. So reviewing, one hand on bottom, one hand on top. They should not be close together like a baseball bat. They've got a kind of a space right there in between. You're using a push with the top hand and a pull with the bottom hand for all of your strikes, all right? The first strike is a quarter strike. And quarter strike, I'm gonna show straight on, is basically cutting right here at about 2 o'clock. It's coming straight to someone's neck or the upper arm. So let's go ahead, let's do a couple of quarter strikes. each time you're going to take a step forward with the other foot. All right, so we're going to start straight out in front, quarter strike to the right, back to ready position, quarter strike to the left, back to ready position, and quarter strike to the right, back to ready position. Good. Now that we've covered quarter strike, let's go ahead and talk about high strike, and we'll talk about a stab and our watershed block. So high strike is super easy. Again, hands out in front. We're just going to pick up our sword high enough so that we can see where we're going, take a step forward, and cutting straight down. Now from the side, you'll notice I don't want to have my sword go too far back behind me, and I also don't want it to hit the ground in front of me. The reason you don't want your blade to hit the ground is because it'll eventually make it dull if you're using an actual sword. So we're going to go ahead, starting with our left foot forward, hands out in front, raising it up over your head, not too far back, just right there. Step forward with your right foot, cutting down, straight down, stopping at your center. Don't let it go too far down this way. All right, let's go ahead, scoot back from your screen a bit, and we're gonna do about 3-4 high strikes, starting with your left foot forward. Ready, and step, strike, step, strike, step, strike, step, strike. Nice, good job. Again, watch out for those ceilings. All right, last one for the strikes is our poke. So again, we're gonna be holding it like this. For your poke, it depends on what side you're bringing your arms. You're gonna bring it off to the side, pulling it back as far as you can, and then stabbing straight forward. So if I'm showing from the side, I'm pulling it off to the side of me and stab. From the other side, off to the side of me and stab. All right, let's go ahead again, scoot back a couple steps, and we'll do a couple of stabs. Ready? Pull back, stab, pull back, stab. Go ahead, switch your feet. Let's try it on the other side. Pull back, stab, pull back, stab. Nice, good job. All right, the last thing we're going to use for this form is our watershed block. Our watershed block is blocking a high strike to our head. So we're going to have our sword out in front of us. The hand that's on top for right now, we're going to go ahead and have it go over our head up high this way. Your tip is going to dip down. It depends on what side you want to go. Either side works. So once again, this tip is going to dip down to one side, and you're going to raise your hands up over your head. You don't want to have it too low, and you don't want to have it too far back, otherwise you'll get a hit to the head. So from the side, looks like this, dipping down to one side, raising your arms up, right there. All right, who's ready to try the form? Let's go ahead and do it. So you're going to start at the tip of your triangle. We're going to do our 3 quarter strikes first. So starting with your left foot forward, we're going to step forward with the right foot, quarter strike to the right, readjust to ready position. Step with the left, quarter strike to the left, ready position. One more, quarter strike to the right, and ready position. Go ahead, turn so that you're moving along the bottom part of your triangle. We're going to go ahead and do our watershed block to the left side. Step forward with our right foot. Bring our watershed block around behind us and quarter strike to the right. Next, watershed block over the right side. Step with the left foot. Quarter strike to the left. Last one, watershed to the left again. Step with the right foot. Quarter strike to the right. Readjust for the last part of our triangle. We're going to go ahead and step forward with the right foot, high strike, pull back, keep that right foot in front, poke. Step forward with the left, high strike, Slide your foot back, keeping the left foot in front. Poke. One more. Step with the right foot, high strike. Pull back and poke and end. You should be back at the beginning of your triangle. Let's go ahead. We're going to do it one more time, a little bit faster this time. Try to keep up with me. And then again, at any point in time, if you need to, you can pause, rewind the video, do it again if you missed a part. Here we go. Left foot in front. Ready. Quarter strike. Quarter strike. Quarter strike. Readjust. Watershed. Quarter strike. Watershed. Quarter strike. Watershed. Quarter strike. And high strike. Pull back. Poke. High strike. Pull back. Poke. One more. High strike. Pull back. Poke. And end. Nice, you guys. That was awesome. All right, you guys, we're almost on to our last weapon. We're going to go ahead. I know we've been working on our Escrima sticks a lot, but we're just going to do a quick review of the 12 strikes and then run through the patterns a couple times since we've been working on this a lot in class. So let's go ahead, grabbing your 2 sticks of any shape or size, best to look like Escrima sticks. And we're gonna go ahead and work on the Sinawali's first, and then we'll go ahead, drop one of the sticks and do our 12 strikes and our 12 blocks. So the first pattern, again, super simple, striking up high, down low, switching your feet and hands, up high, down low. Right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand. Don't forget to keep that second hand up even though you're striking, and also keeping the correct foot in front. Left, right, left, right. Good. Next one, just adding on that twist stance. Remember, looking over your shoulder first and striking with the close arm, not reaching with the forearm. Let's go ahead and try it. Right foot in front. Ready? Right side. Left side, twist towards your back foot and strike up high, strike down low. Ready? Left side, right side, twist and back. Again, if you're having a hard time with that one, stick with the very first one. Up high, down low, up high, down low. This is great to work with a partner. If you have a sibling at home, you can work with your sibling, striking up high, down low, where you're both hitting in the center like this, and then down low right there. Let's go ahead, give you guys a couple more seconds to practice that real quick. Again, you can pause the video if you want more practice. We're just gonna do that twist stance about 2 more times. Ready? Right, left, twist, left, right, and twist. Good. Again, like I said before, if you haven't done any of the Escrima sticks, some of my younger kids might not have done all the Escrima sticks yet, go ahead and stick with just that high strike, low strike with your partner. And we'll have my older kids and higher degrees working on our bow and arrow. So we're going to start with that one hand under, right hand on top, and we're striking up high, putting it on our shoulder, striking down low, and opening all the way up. Right hand under the arm, striking with the left up high, on your shoulder, striking down low with the right, and opening all the way up. Again, if you know this one, go ahead and practice it. You can go as fast or as slow as you need to. Nice. Don't forget, for my other students that are not yet up to bow and arrow, just sticking with up high, down low, up high, down low, up high, down low, up high, down low. Again, I'm going to go ahead and take a break real quick. Listen to the music, practice your Escrima sticks. If you've got a partner, practice it with your partner. Ready, begin. Next part with the Escrima stick are 12 strikes and our 12 bucks. We're going to go over those 12 strikes real quick, holding it in our right hand. Remember, you're holding it down towards the bottom, maybe like an inch or about a fist's worth sticking out at the bottom. So we're going to go ahead, striking up high towards the head on the right side, striking up high towards the head on the left side, striking towards the body and the body. Good. Let's do that part one more time. Ready? Striking up high towards the head, up high towards the head, to the body, pull back, straight back, and poke. Next part, we're going to go ahead, pull back again, and it's kind of coming up and over, poke to the clavicle, let it dip down, and clavicle on the other side. You're hitting with that flat bottom part again. Good. Let's go ahead, review that part, and then do the rest. Ready? Strike up high, strike up high, strike to the body, pull back, poke, pull back, clavicle, dip down, clavicle, low strike to the knee, low strike to the knee, pull back like before, only this time it's a strike to the head, dip down, strike to the head, and high strike. Nice. Let's do it one more time, not much faster. Ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Awesome, you guys. That was really good. That was really good. Again, if you need to, go ahead, pause this video, review the 12 strikes, and then we'll be moving on to one last special weapon that I'm going to show you how to make. All right, you guys, the last thing that we're going to do is make our own homemade throwing stars. There should be 2 pieces of paper in your goodie bag there. The rest, there'll be like some pieces left over after we make these, and you can use those for our next video, so don't toss them in the trash, okay? So the first thing we're going to do with our 2 pieces of paper, I kind of colored on both sides so that hopefully you guys will be able to tell the difference when I flip over my paper. We need to make a perfect square out of our paper. So we're going to take one corner and we're going to fold it in along the edge right here. So you're going to take the corner, fold it to an edge until you can get a point right there on the left side. Fold that nice and tight. Notice how this is going to be my extra. So I can either use scissors to cut this extra off, or if you're good at folding and tearing paper, you can do that as well, but that extra does need to come off. So I'm going to fold that and take it off. All right, so now we've got our perfect square, and I'm going to go ahead and start with one, and then I'll show you what we're doing with our second square. So I'm going to fold my square. I'll flip it over this way so you can see better. I'll fold my square in half one time, and then in that same way a second time. So now I've got kind of a longish, thicker piece of paper. Does everyone see that? Just like that. All right, we're going to go ahead and do that with our second piece of paper as well. Let me get my end piece off here real quick first. All right. Don't forget, don't crumple your paper like I just did. You're going to actually need that extra piece for our next video. All right, so same thing. I'm going to be folding it in half once and in half a second time. Don't forget, you can always ask your mom or dad for some help with this as well. All right, so now we have two sheets, kind of long, and we're going to keep them side by side. We're going to go ahead and fold them in half the long way, and then unfold it again. Same thing with your other one. Fold it the long way, and unfold it again. Now we're going to use this crease as our guideline. We're going to fold this first one to the outside. We're going to fold this edge right here to our crease. So you're going to fold it straight to that crease like that. There we go. And then the bottom part is going to fold to the crease going the opposite direction. There we go. Let's go ahead and do that with the other one. We're going to go the opposite direction. So on this one, I went to this side. That means on this one, I'm going to go to the other side so that they look like this. Okay, I'll go like this for you guys so you can see. There you go, just like that. All right, fold that one back in and folding this one back in that way. So they should both be going opposite directions. All right. Did I do that right? I did. Okay. Next, we're going to go ahead and flip them over. And we're going to make little triangles on either end. So we're going to make this one right here into a triangle. Does everyone see that triangle? Other one into a triangle. And we end up with kind of a Z. You see that Z? Cool. Let's do that with the other one. So turn that into our triangle and turn it into our triangle. Now this is the difficult part, piecing it together. Really make sure that your two Z's, I'll try and show this to you guys, are facing opposite directions. If they're facing the same direction, refold one of them so that they're facing opposite directions. All right, we're going to take the one and we're going to flip it over so that now this one looks like two triangles and this one looks like a Z. We're going to place our two triangles on top of our Z, just like this. And slowly we're going to start working on folding our triangles like this and in under that flap right there. Move it around, other side, fold that triangle over and make sure it goes in to that flap right there. It's starting to hold everything together. We're going to turn it over again. Same thing on the other side. Now we're working with the white paper, turning that into our triangle and folding it into the flap right there. Other side, fold that triangle and fold it in to that little flap right there. There we go. And we've got our homemade throwing star. I'm also going to put a picture with directions on this if it's hard to follow with the video. That way you can just look at the picture. Make sure when you've made your throwing stars that we don't throw them again at other people, our pets, or anything like that. However, you can go ahead and toss it across the room. Try to have some fun with it. You hold it in one hand and kind of in between your index finger and your thumb, like this, on one corner, and then you throw it like that, just like that. So do some practice target shooting with your throwing stars. Have fun!